Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
Kelly. So tonight we're talking about Real Housewives of OC, but before we start that, I just wanted to bring up two things. One thing I just saw, Jenn's Ryan is suing Tamra.
I saw that.
Because you heard her on Watch What Happens Live, right?
I did.
She said you stole money and he didn't, and you and I both discussed this. He didn't.
No.
And he has immunity. So whatever proof he has that he did not know that that money was coming from that baseball player must be good enough proof for him to get immunity.
Well, she made a video today on Instagram walking down the street. Did you see it?
For some reason, I couldn't hear the video, but she also posted an apology, and I'm going to read it because this is hysterical. As I mentioned on my IG story yesterday, I would like to apologize for and correct the record on a misstatement I made on Watch What Happens Live on Thursday about Ryan. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I have no reason to believe that Ryan has stolen any money. I misspoke in tying Ryan to the actions of others. I meant to say my company makes more money than what was stolen from the Dodger player. Unfortunately, her spelling is horrendous, by the way. Unfortunately, I misspoke on live television while Ryan and I have had ongoing issues. I do apologize to him for the mistake and wish to make clear that my statement was made in error. I sincerely apologize, Tamra Judge. And he basically, I guess he posted that and basically said, this is because I filed a lawsuit.
Oh, so he posted that.
So
she posted it first, I guess, because I saw her.
So.
She said that in the video. So she was walking down the street with Eddie, and she said two things to clarify. One was that she misspoke about, him stealing the money because everyone's innocent until proven guilty. And the other, like Andy pointed out, because Andy did make that statement. The producers must have said.
Get tied into that.
Right. Producers must have said something in his ear. And what was the other thing? She said something else she misspoke about. Something about Eddie. I don't remember what. I don't remember. It probably will hit me when we start recapping it. Because I did recap Watch What Happens Live too. So I have that whole thing in its entirety we can discuss.
Okay, good.
Okay.
And the second thing I just wanted to mention real quick, and I think that this is hysterical. Did you see the video of Teresa cooking?
I did not see the video, but I've heard all about the video. What was she cooking?
She was making her
pasta?
Pot of sauce, and she was putting the pork chops in there and the sausage like you do.
Right.
But I just thought it was hysterical. Have we ever seen her do a cooking video before?
No, but Melissa and Joe were doing cooking videos.
And Caroline's cookbook just came out, and she was on the Good Morning America, I believe.
Good for her. I listened to her on Dear Albie. It was his first podcast since he had the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So did you get a chance to listen to it?
I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, and I'm going to listen to it while I'm at the gym.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And Caroline's on it?
Caroline's on it, yeah. It's a good one. You'll enjoy it.
Have you listened yet when the cousin's on?
No.
Okay. She's really, really funny. And I told you when they were courting Melissa to join the show, before that, they were courting her. And she almost did it, but then didn't because of her husband's aspirations in the school district. Which is understandable.
That's right. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, those were the two things I had to bring up. I'm so happy he's suing her, though. And he's using the same attorney as Jim Bellino.
I know. I saw that. I love that.
I mean, this is Housewives gold.
Yes, it is. And maybe this is what she needs to keep her mouth shut.
100%. 100%. Right? Stop drinking, Tamra.
Exactly.
You need to stop drinking.
Exactly. The other thing I wanted to clear up is last week, it's not really clear up. We had talked about Emily putting testosterone pellets in her butt. And I looked it up, and it's hormone replacement therapy for menopause. So it's not just testosterone. It's other hormones to replace whatever it is you're losing during menopause.
And does it aid in weight loss?
I don't know if it aids in weight loss. I think it really just balances your hormones better.
Okay.
So that you're, not so much of the night sweats or the hot flashes or the up and down moods. I don't know. Yeah. I've never done it, but it's actually something I'm thinking about looking into because I have heard good things about it.
Me too.
Oh, I also wanted to mention to you, I was reading one of our listeners. They commented about the breast reduction. I don't know if you saw that one.
I didn't.
So she said at 48 during menopause, her breasts grew also. So I guess menopause is something that could cause them. And I thought of you when I saw that. I was like,
My
oh,
God.
I
I
know.
will flip out if they get any bigger.
I
I'm
know.
going to have to go get my reduction and lift soon because I'm very perimenopausal. And I will lose my shit if they get any bigger.
I know. I was like, oh no. But thank you for the information to our listeners. Thank you for the information.
Absolutely. That's very helpful. Thank you. Well, and the last thing is what you sent me about poor Kim Richards.
Oh, yes.
And Kyle. That's very sad. I wish her well. I hope she gets, if she has relapsed, because we don't know if that's really what happened.
Right.
I hope she gets the help she needs. I just, in general, hope she gets the help she needs. I honestly think that the whole family needs to get off the show.
Well, they certainly don't need the money.
That's what I mean. So, focus on your family. Not that I think Kathy's focusing on anything other than herself, but maybe. Because it does always seem like it's Kyle taking care of Kim. But I could be wrong.
I did also see on social media that us viewers, we missed the clues that something was going on with Kim Richards because I guess her birthday was, I think, September 19th. And her two sisters did not wish her happy birthday publicly. And we should have picked up on that, is what they're telling us. I was like, okay, yeah.
Tell me you're self-involved without telling me you're self-involved.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, I had my own September birthday.
Yes, exactly.
And
exactly.
It was 50, so I was focusing on myself.
And she turned 60. She turned 60 on her birthday on September 19th, 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, she does look great for 60, but
she does. No, she absolutely does.
I wish her well.
I do too. So this one is season 18, episode 12.
I'm like, there's been 18
No. Episode 12.
Well,
I know. The Elephant in the Room is the name of this one. And it starts out the day after the party. Emily, Gina, and Tamra are talking about what happened. And Tamra apologizes for jumping on the bandwagon. I think it's a little bit too late. And I don't even know why Gina and Emily allow her to apologize and just kind of move on with it. Really, I don't.
Listen, I love Emily. I think Emily keeps Tamra close to her for a reason. I think because if you're not close to Tamra, she's going to do to you what she's doing to Jen, what she's doing to Shannon, what she's really done to Heather. You have to keep Tamra close. Did you see, because I didn't see this last week, but in the flashback when the three of them were talking, they showed Emily say to Alexis, "Shut up, Alexis, you're just a friend of."
No, I missed that.
She said something about being a friend of. I thought that was great.
I love that because that's what you always say on all of our posts.
I do. I call her a friend of. And I won't say John Jansen's name. I just say Shannon's ex. I don't say Alexis's boyfriend. I say Shannon's ex.
Okay, that's good. I like it.
I think.
I like
if
it.
not, I'm going to do it from now on.
All right. So then we see Terry and Heather are at the doctor's office because he needs to get clearance for surgery because he's snoring. Basically, it's because he's snoring and Heather is not getting good sleep, so he has to have his nose fixed.
Terry wants a nose job.
I mean,
he needs to blame it on snoring.
I don't know. If he wanted a nose job, why wouldn't he have had it years ago?
That's what I'm saying. Or just say you want a nose job. His nose has gotten very big over the years. I don't know if it's the filler or whatever he's doing to his face, but his nose has definitely gotten bigger. Just say you want a nose job.
Well, he's getting a nose job.
Yeah, and he's not going to Paul Nassif, which is shocking.
I know, and he's going to be mad.
Yeah,
I don't blame him. I'd be mad too. So Heather's tired. She's talking to him about, he says to her, well, you were up late drinking last night and partying and laughing. And Heather feels like with Gina and Emily, she always goes 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And this is where Terry says, you have a process you need to go through. You hash it out 1, 2, 3 times ad nauseum. It's like, Heather says, that's not true. And Terry says, I don't want to talk about it anymore. And then Heather gets up and they walk out because he was done getting the blood drawn. And Heather says, she's on mic, but she wasn't on camera, says, don't admonish me on camera. Terry says, then don't talk over me. And I'll tell you,
getting the balls.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, on social media, people were really giving her a hard time about producing herself. But I don't know. I don't think what she did was horrible. I agree.
Oh.
I I would have done the same thing.
Sure.
I would have done the same thing. And so
well,
what?
You know, my husband said things to me in front of people, and we've gotten in the car, and I'm like, why would you
Right.
do that? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure he's done the same thing to me, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it was a
Unfortunate that she
problem.
was on camera and the whole world got to see it, but
Right. I don't think it was a horrible thing.
No.
And then he gets the medical clearance for, you know, his anesthesia. Then we see Jenn and Ryan, they go shopping together. This is kind of funny.
Oh my God.
I know. Jenn says Ryan has his own style and he needs to bring everything to the tailor.
Even his underwear.
Even his underwear. I mean,
crazy.
I think she was joking. Don't you think she was joking? How do you, I mean, you don't tailor underwear. You just buy a size smaller.
If you want the more snug.
Exactly.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That is crazy. I think she was
just bought a dress for my nephew's wedding next week to get hemmed. A hem. It's costing me $40. It's costing me $40 to get the dress hemmed.
Probably more than the dress.
Probably. The way I shop on Nordstrom Rack sales. Why would you get underwear tailored? It's just throwing money out the window.
Well, she said T-shirts too.
Yeah.
I mean yeah.
Just my smaller Ryan.
I think she was just being sarcastic. And I like her, so it's fine. I don't even care. And then the saleswoman asked them if they know Tamra and Eddie. And they're like, yeah. And she said, well, Eddie has that exact same jacket that you're wearing. How funny.
I know, because honestly, when she first said it, I was like, oh, God, here we go.
Right.
Now they set up a scene with the salesperson and they're going to have her say something. And then it didn't go anywhere. And I was like, oh, shit, maybe the salesperson just really said it out of the blue.
I think it did.
Right?
Like, yeah, I think it just happened.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then so Tamra and Jenn, they're talking about how they're moving forward in a positive place, and they know that there's tension between their husbands. So Tamra on her side is trying to talk to Eddie about making, you know, amends with Ryan, and Jenn on her side is trying to talk to Ryan about making amends with Eddie.
What exactly? I know we saw it now because I know Ryan did go on a podcast. What did he say?
So I guess
Eddie.
I mean, he kind of alludes to saying that he was unemployed and soft and basically
kind of lets Tamra rule the roost.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
You know, that's his.
I know, and
that's his opinion.
Exactly. Exactly. So even when Tamra and Eddie are having their conversation, they're cleaning up the kitchen, and Tamra's complaining about how Eddie leaves the kitchen dirty, except for the only thing he cleans is his motorcycle and his truck. I mean, does she think he's different than any other man? Like what? I mean, there's very few men they're cleaning the kitchen. Seriously.
Right. And I'm sure she's got a cleaning person's.
Yeah, exactly. So Shannon's on FaceTime with her daughter, Adeline, and she's asking about school and asking about the men. And she's telling her that she's, you know, just had 3 good days because she went on tour with Vicky. And then she starts telling her that, you know, she's a little bit stressed out about what's going on with John. And, you know, that he admitted that he's using the video footage as blackmail, which is insane. It's absolutely insane.
How these people admit that stuff. Like if it were anybody else, like you or I, like that would be an admission of, you know, fraud, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And then later on in the day, it comes out in People magazine that, you know, he's suing Shannon. And when Tamra sees it, she calls Shannon, and then Shannon accidentally butt dials her.
And Tamra fucking leaves it on.
Yeah.
Not even leaves it on. She plays back the voicemail, right?
It wasn't a voicemail.
She just leave it on?
She leaves it on. I mean,
while filming. That's terrible.
That just shows you who she is.
100%. Absolutely.
It shows you it 100. Yes, it shows you who she is. And then she calls Heather and tells Heather about it.
She says under her breath, Shannon, why didn't you just agree to pay him? She did.
Yeah, she did.
Tamra said that under her breath, but of course you could hear it. She did offer to pay him.
She did. And we find out that's why Alexis was so upset the night before. And one of the things that Shannon is saying is that Alexis set this up. She had her PR person, you know, put this out there, just like Shannon was saying. The first time that she was sued by Jim Bellino, the way Tamra and her found out about it is that it was in People magazine.
Right.
So if that's her MO, that's her MO. I don't think she's wrong with it.
Absolutely not. She's absolutely right.
which again is wonderful why Ryan is now suing Tamra.
So good. It's
Yes.
so good.
It is. It is. It really is.
Yep. And Heather was right. She said John filing the lawsuit is counterintuitive to him not wanting to be in the spotlight. And she is absolutely correct.
Yeah, definitely. Then we see Katie talking to her husband about the dinner party and that, she's inviting all the ladies and their husbands, but Gina's busy with her kids and she didn't invite Shannon, which is fine.
I'm wondering if at this point Travis won't film because of what's going on with them. Because, I mean, Gina clearly has a very good co-parenting situation with her ex, who is, I mean, we'll get there because he is so good looking, her ex-husband. It's ridiculous.
He is. He really is.
I mean, Travis is cute. Don't get me wrong. He's a handsome guy. But Matt is.
Yeah, he is. He is.
But I'm wondering if Travis, at this point, because she asked him to move out and he was feeling a certain way about it, was like, I'm not filming. This is too uncomfortable.
It could be. Or, I mean, he has filmed with her this season.
Just those two scenes, right? Where they're at the table and he's almost crying. And then when he was physically moving out.
Yeah. I mean, it could be that he doesn't want to do couples things.
Right.
It's very possible.
Not right now. Yeah.
It's very, very possible.
Yeah.
And then Emily and Shane are talking about the dinner party as well. And they're talking about like, what should we bring? What gifts should we bring? And again, I like their little banter.
And her son says, bring her some pot.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It is funny.
All of these housewives must smoke weed, or a good portion of them.
Well, I mean, if not smoking weed, I think that there's definitely edibles involved, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because they did the whole microdosing thing at one point.
Yeah. I mean, I think Heather was the one who like introduced it to them.
Yes.
At least on camera, she introduced it. I don't know if she's actually the one who introduced it to them.
Right.
So then we, see Terry get out of surgery. He had his nose job. It took him 2 hours. Yeah, looks great. So then the next scene is we see Gina at her house making her meatballs, and her ex Matt comes over with his fiance. She's also beautiful.
She is, and where do I have it? To me, I always thought she looked like Kelly Dodd. But in this scene with her long hair, I'm like, she looks like a cross between Kelly Dodd and Angie Cat. You got to look at a still picture of her.
I can kind of see it. Either way, the woman is beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
She really is.
Yeah.
And,
he's really good looking.
He is good looking. He is good looking. And, she sits down with them asking about like what's going on with the wedding and how she's excited for them. And they both agree that they're like in her confessional, Gina says, I'm so lucky that, they're going to have such a great stepmom, which we know how important that is. Like, that's so important.
Yeah, they're doing things the right way. And honestly, after what happened with them, it really could have went bad. But they both I always think that it takes one person to be the bigger person. And Gina seems to be the bigger person. Not that Matt's not equally as, amicable and all of this. I'm just saying he was really the one who screwed up.
He was in the wrong. He was absolutely in the wrong.
So Gina being the bigger person, but you do that for your kids.
Yeah. Yes, you do. If you're a good mother, that's what you do. You put your kids first.
Yeah.
That's what you do. So she's talking, and then we see Katie, how she's talking to Matt about what her mother told her how, because she's from the South, her mother told her how to set up the table, make sure you have the table runner and the flowers and the dishes and the food. And she's like, well, she ordered the food, which is fine. You don't have to cook the food.
That's a lot of people to cook for.
Yeah, you don't have to cook the food.
That's a lot of people to cook for.
Yeah, I wouldn't be cooking the food.
Mm-mm. No, I like to cook, and I wouldn't be cooking for all those people.
No, because then you're not enjoying yourself.
Things, but not the main thing.
Yeah, no, then you're not enjoying yourself either. Like,
absolutely,
you're not enjoying yourself. Mm-hmm. Although I don't know that they were enjoying themselves anyway.
Yeah. Started off good.
So basically, she brings up to Matt, her husband, about Ryan went on the podcast and bashed Eddie, and that they haven't like seen each other or talked to each other since that happened. So then Ryan comes in and he goes up to Eddie. He said hi, and he said, you want to give him a hug? And he's like, no, I'm good.
I don't think Ryan should have expected a hug from Eddie.
I don't either.
I'm on Eddie's side with the.
Yeah. He's like, I have nothing to say to you. And so Shane and Eddie are the only two there that are not drinking. And, I think about that when I saw that. Like, Eddie doesn't really drink that much. Like, I don't think we've ever seen him
No, maybe
right?
when he first, I don't remember, but and he could very well just not drink on camera. Like I think Margaret Joseph has always said that she just doesn't drink on camera when they're filming.
Oh, she does drink? I thought she just didn't drink at all.
I mean, I think she'll have a cocktail here and there, but not while filming.
Okay.
But yeah, and good for Eddie.
Yeah.
He's very smart. He's very smart.
Mm-hmm. So then Ryan goes outside and he's talking to Matt and he's, telling him about what happened between him. And Matt asks Ryan, like, what he does for a living. Like, what do you do? What do you do for a living? And Ryan says, he said a whole lot of nothing. He said
real estate development.
Real estate development. He's been in the mortgage industry for years. He's got, what does he have? 7 projects he's working on.
Yeah.
But it really was a lot of fluff.
Yeah.
Like very vague. Right?
I agree. He was like,
yes,
all over.
Yes. And inside, Tamra's already spilling her drink at this point.
Yeah, Eddie tells Katie. Is Katie's husband Matt also?
Yes, he's Matt. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Eddie tells Matt to stop serving her. You should probably stop serving her.
Yes. He also,
which is something Eric would do, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Bill would not do that. I mean, he should, but he would not.
Well, I would drink. That's why he's very in tune to what's going on. He's like, exactly. All right, she's good.
Exactly. Exactly. And when she does spill her drink, you see Eddie like giving her the side eye, like, oh, like, here we go. Right.
Yeah.
And then they're sitting down at the table and Tamra says to Katie, Matt's amazing. And he's never been married and he's never had any kids and that they've been together for 7.5 years. And then she says, by the way, I saw Katie's butthole. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. Like, it's just stupid. And it was stupid when it happened and childish and immature. Now you're at a nice dinner party at her house.
It's not dinner table conversation.
No,
it's not. And then they bring up about what Emily was trying to say to Heather, and Emily starts crying again.
Yeah, they got to stop bringing up the dress. It's like the paparazzi thing now. We're good.
Yeah,
we're all set. But did you see the clip going around of Heather? I didn't catch this when it happened, but apparently in her confessional, she was like, and by the way, the dress was tight on Emily.
Yes, I did see her say it in the confessional.
She shouldn't have said that.
She should not have said it because it was not tight.
It wasn't. It fit her beautifully.
It did. She should not have said that. I agree with you. That was absolutely wrong. But she even, Emily even reaches over to Ryan. She's like, you see me at the gym all the time. And then they show a clip when she was working out at Cut Fitness. And Eddie said to her, basically you're obese based on her BMI.
Yeah, well, I've been told the same thing. So.
Me too.
Yeah. So at those doctors.
Yeah, exactly.
Obese.
Exactly.
Leader.
And then Tamra tells them about the butt dial that she received from Shannon.
Of course she does. She tells the whole table.
And she's still sticking up for Alexis. Like, she still got Alexis's back. And then we see Tamra says, can we talk about the elephant in the room? So she's the one who decides to bring it up about Ryan and Eddie. I mean, I guess it had to get brought up. I don't know.
I don't know if it had to be brought up there at the dinner table and ruin all their dinner. But she starts yelling. She starts yelling in people's faces.
But she does that all the time. That's all she does is yell at people.
Yeah. I know there's a petition going around to get her off the show. I saw it on Facebook today. I didn't sign it because listen, if I'm going to sign any petition, we all know who I'm going to sign it about.
Oh, we do. Yeah.
So I didn't sign it, but there is one.
I don't think those things work. Has a petition ever worked for anything ever on this planet?
So. I don't think so.
People think they're doing something. So go ahead. Go send her in.
You go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Have at it.
She accuses Ryan of attacking her kids. And here's the thing. Ryan put up a post and it was like dickpic.com or something like that. And then he said the only Ryan Tamra should be worrying about is her own son, which, listen, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. And the dick pic reference was to him because she brought up, she's so stupid. She thinks he's bringing up a dick pic that her son put out years ago. Nobody even knew about that.
No.
He was referencing himself because of the shit you pulled the first season Jen was on.
Right.
So
Yes.
stupid.
But I will say the picture that he did post of Tamra and Ryan, her son, it was an old picture.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, well, Tamra looked very young in that picture, so it was an old
Okay.
picture. But again, I don't know if that's because that's the picture he found.
Right.
I mean, I don't think he knew anything about how would he have, right?
We never heard it before.
No.
No, he wasn't attacking her kids. I mean, I don't think he said anything about her being a mom, did he?
Well, no, but that's what no. So Tamara asked Ryan, like, why he talked about them on the podcast. And Ryan said, well, I was a friend to you until you talked shit about me. Eddie said a friend went up to him and said, watch out for Ryan. He likes to F married women. And Eddie says, yeah, I did say
I
that.
kind of believe Eddie. I'm not going to lie.
No, I don't think Eddie's lying.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he's lying. Ryan says, well, then why didn't you address that at the time? And Eddie says, well, listen, I'm not threatened by you. Like, I'm not threatened by you. I don't need to address that. And then Jen asked, why are you doing this? You went after Ryan all last year. And she's talking to Tamra.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tamra says, because you talked about me as a mother. And that's when she brings that picture up. And it's like, no, they didn't talk about you as a mother.
No.
So Tamra says that she talks about the dick pic. Ryan says he didn't know anything about it. He says, I apologize if you thought that that's what it was about. And then Jen asks Eddie, like, you and I were close. Like, why are you doing this? And I don't blame her. And Eddie says, I'm not her keeper, which, is true. He's not her keeper. And then Tamra answers, well, because he's not a little bitch. Again, it's Tamra getting loud, getting obnoxious.
Yep.
Because Jen was trying to talk. Listen, Eddie, you and I have been
Rationally.
good. Yeah, you and I have been good for a long time. Like, I went to your gym. We've worked out together. Like, why are you letting your wife do this? And you can see it on Eddie's face. You can see that he's just like.
Absolutely. You can see that he wants to. I mean, eventually he does start telling her to stop. Eventually he does. But it takes a while.
Right. Well, yeah, it does. It does. And then Tamra says, he's not a little bitch. Tamra says, how is the FBI? Eddie says to Tamra, stop. And he holds her face and says, stop talking. Jen says, Eddie, I hate this. Like, I hate that you're coming at us. Like, we didn't do anything to you. And then Tamra gets up and walks out, and Eddie's still sitting there. She trips and she doesn't fall, but she trips as she's walking out, and Eddie's sitting there like, it didn't have to be like this. Mm-hmm. And he's right. It didn't have to be like that, but
it's his wife's fault. Yeah.
Your wife is a messy drunk. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe she's not an alcoholic, but she's a messy drunk. And you know what? I think a messy drunk is just as bad as an alcoholic.
Well, the thing is that it's not a good relationship with alcohol. She doesn't have a good relationship with alcohol. And Shannon's not I really don't think Shannon is an alcoholic. I don't think she depends on alcohol on her day to day. I think she
don't
uses
either.
it as a coping skill.
Right.
But when I have like a really rough day,
right,
I want to have a drink when I get home. It's an unhealthy relationship with alcohol, and they probably both have it. And Tamra it's probably worse with Tamra because of her behavior. I don't think Shannon lashes out like that. I think Shannon calls her friends and tells them things about her relationship.
Well, that's what happens. Yes, that's what happens. Like
and argues with her boyfriend.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. And that's pretty much the end of the episode, because that's where it ends, as Tamra's walking out and Eddie's sitting there.
And then Ryan says Eddie's unemployed and their marriage is a sham. And she's just miserable and doesn't like to see anybody happy.
He says that in his confessional at the end. And then next we get Watch What Happens Live. And it's Tamra and Ekin-Su. I never heard of her before.
Yeah, who was that?
So she's the author of Be Your Own Best Friend, but she was referring to Love Island, so I guess she was on Love Island.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I think she must have been. Which, by the way, Tess is watching that show right now. I guess the last season
with what's her name?
Ariana.
Yes,
she's very rarely on it though. She only comes in for like challenges and stuff. Because I'm watching a little bit here and there with her. I think we might want to watch this next season.
Really?
I do.
It's not too young for us?
Well, I mean, they're too young for us.
Oh.
I don't know if the show is too young for us. I mean, yes, they are half our age.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll watch it.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept, but some of it gets mean, and I'm very sensitive. Like, I had to walk out of the room the other day with one of the challenges they had to do.
So is it like Survivor that there's challenges?
A little bit. All these, single people are thrown into a house and they have to couple up. So they couple up. And then I guess the last couple standing, when people are voting at home, you can get voted off. People are voting at home. So it's kind of like Dancing with the Stars too.
Okay.
There's a lot of moving pieces here. But
Yeah.
then they have to do challenges, and then they can choose to stay with that partner or pick a new partner.
Okay.
And they sleep in bed with their partner that they coupled up with. Yeah, but they're all in one big giant room.
So they couple up with this partner like the first day they're there, and then they decide whether or not they want to stay with that partner?
Throughout different challenges, yeah.
Oh, this sounds interesting. Okay,
It's very interesting. I had no idea. And all the while, they're walking around this big estate, pool and everything in bathing suits. So they're basically naked.
Yeah.
During the whole show.
Okay.
Except for little bathing suits.
Okay. No, I'm in.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
So then we start out after we meet Ekin-Su. Eddie's in the audience, and Andy starts out with the shady boot. And the shady boot was Ryan's confessional, where, he says, like you said, Tamra takes anyone who's happy and tries to railroad them. She's miserable. Eddie's soft, unemployed, and their marriage is a sham.
Mm-hmm.
And he says to Tamra, like, what's your response? And she said, well, he said Eddie's unemployed. Venus CBD and big treat. We earn more in a month than what you stole from the Dodger player. She didn't answer the question.
Nope.
She did not even answer the question. She did not even answer the question.
I mean, I'm sure Eddie is running Venus CBD. I'm sure he is. He's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And Cut Fitness was his gig, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And what does it matter?
I think that was an unfair statement, Eddie's unemployed.
I do too, but listen, he was in his confessional and, that's what you do. It's interesting though, because Eddie, had we ever seen Eddie in a confessional?
No, and the thing is that Eddie's like collateral damage. Like,
he is.
Tamra's coming hard for Ryan, and it's kind of silly because he's not a housewife.
Right.
But that's what she's doing. That's what she's choosing to do. So for Ryan to have a response about Eddie isn't so outlandish.
No, I agree.
He's not a housewife and he's getting dragged.
Right. No, I agree. So then we start out with the polls, and the first poll is, whose side are you on, Eddie or Ryan? And Eddie won, obviously, at 63%.
So it wasn't a landslide.
No. And then it is Tamra's anger at Ryan warranted, yes or no, based on what was said on the podcast? And 75% said no.
Right.
Not warranted. Not warranted.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one was, which name is worse to be called, little bitch, slob, or clown? Little bitch won by 84%.
I agree.
I don't want
to be called the slob, though, but I think calling a man a little bitch is bad.
Well, I mean, isn't that what Teresa was? She called her brother bitch boy, and then Jen jumped in on the bandwagon of bitch boy.
I think Jen called him it first, and Teresa didn't stick up for him, and then she started saying it.
That could be. Yeah. That could be. Anytime you refer to a man as bitch, not good. Right. And then the poll was, did Terry admonish Heather on camera, yes or no? The answer was no by 89%.
Listen, she doesn't want to be told she's doing anything wrong. She wants everybody to tell her that everything she does is perfect, because this is the persona she wants to put out to the public, that she's perfect. She does.
Right. No, I agree.
So when her husband said that, it was like, how dare you make it to the public that I did something wrong or said something wrong? Can't live your life like that, Heather. Stop.
No, but I still like her. I still think they have a great relationship and it works for them. Next question on the poll was, do you get your underwear tailored? Yes or no? 99% said no. So Ryan must have voted.
Yes.
Who would have made a better trader, Tamra or Ekin-Su? Obviously, Tamra won by 77%.
Right.
Do you regret calling Ryan a little bitch and bringing up the FBI? Yes, because I should have called him a big bitch, is what she said.
Right. So she doubled down. She
Yep.
doubled down on the FBI thing.
She sure did. Do you regret how many martinis you had at Katie's couple dinner? Yes, I'm not a martini drinker.
Come on, Tamra. You're
Right.
not a martini drinker, but you go to a friend's house that you've never been to before. You meet her husband, or maybe she's met him before, but
Right.
and you just decide to drink a martini, which is an extremely strong drink.
Right.
Come on. Yes, you are.
Next one was, do you regret listening to Shannon's butt dial and not just hanging up? Well, because there was a camera in front of me, I just kept listening, which I kind of get that. I mean, not that it's right. I would have hung up.
I would have hung up.
I would have hung up too. I would have too, because then there would have been nothing for them to show. But because you didn't hang up, there was something for them to show. Because had you hung up, it would have been a non-point, right?
And we have not yet seen Shannon's reaction to that, right?
No.
Tamra playing the butt dial on air.
No.
Because she's already been on Watch What Happens Live. Okay. Well, that'll be interesting at the reunion to see that.
Yes, that will be interesting. And then the next one is, do you regret calling Shannon an alcoholic multiple times this season? She does say yes. Do you regret telling Heather that Katie said Gina is only friends with you for real estate dealings? She says no. Doesn't regret that. Do you regret telling everyone that Shannon owes John Jansen $75,000 at the group dinner? Tamra says, I said that. And Tamra says to Andy, I said that. And Andy says, yeah, you said that. She goes, no, I don't regret it. Do you regret breaking up with the Tres Amigas? No.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard no for her.
Yep. Then Andy asks her about what procedure she just had. And she said, well, she had a brow lift and she had the CO2 laser with the blue peel. And he said, well, Molly Sims just talked Lisa Barlow out of it. And Tamara says, well, I'm going to take the advice of a board certified surgeon over a model who has a skincare line. So now she's shading Molly Sims.
I love Molly Sims. I've always loved her since that show Las Vegas was on. It's one of my favorite shows.
And
don't be shading Molly Sims, Tamra.
No. And I think
don't.
I think that doctor did it for free for her, so she would post about it because she mentioned his name and,
Of course.
Then Tamara was asked, after berating Shannon all season about being alcoholic, do you think that was a good look for you? Being drunk. Tamara says, I think there's a difference between having an alcohol problem and just being stupid when you're drunk.
Not stupid, nasty.
Right.
And
nasty.
Again, you're accusing Shannon of having an alcohol problem. Her problem's the same as your problem. You neither one of you can handle your liquor.
That's true.
And people like that shouldn't drink.
And that's why Shannon isn't drinking. And she's even admitted on camera that she had a bad way of coping with her issues. She was using a maladaptive skill of alcohol instead of, now she's in therapy. And now she's,
doing things in a healthier way. Coping in a healthier way.
Yes. And then Andy says that the allegations of Ryan stealing have not been proven in a court of law. Just want to put that out there. And now we know what happens the next day is that Ryan, and I don't blame him.
Me neither. I'm so here for that.
I hope he wins.
Yeah.
I hope he wins.
I do too. It's funny because I was thinking about, I always bring it back to Jersey, but I was thinking about all of the allegations that have been thrown out there, I mean, I don't think anybody on Jersey, either side, have said something like that. Like she literally said more money than he stole from the Dodgers player. Like I don't know. I was trying to think No,
that's serious.
Yeah, that's very, because there's an ongoing lawsuit about it right now. There's ongoing litigation. So he definitely has a right to sue her for, defamatory, defamatory statements, because there is an ongoing lawsuit going on. And she said that.
Yeah. Also, Andy asked her, what are you looking forward to with the reunion? And she said, talking about the stuff that wasn't aired. So I don't know what that means.
It probably means nothing. She's so full of shit.
I
She's
still
just
don't.
putting that out there to get the heat off of her because everybody hates her now. Listen, Teresa has her fans, right? People sticking up for her no matter what. Tamra doesn't have that. Tamra does not have that.
No, she doesn't. And, you know, even on our post, the amount of comments that agree with us about Tamra, it's overwhelming.
Yep.
And something happened. Maybe you heard about it. So there was some podcast where Tamra said something and Teddy wound up like editing it out. Have you heard about this?
I have. I'm trying to think of what it was because it was months ago that she said it.
Yes.
And they've since taken it off.
Yes.
I do know what it's about, and I can't think of it right now.
I feel like Teddy's going to go down with her. Listen,
did the thing with Teresa where she said, you remember when we were all in California together and your husband, Joe Giudice, was there and something happened and you don't want me to put it out there? Was it that?
It could be, but I don't remember.
I feel like it was something else, but she did say that. I feel like it was something else, but yes, Teddy did edit it out. And I have to be honest with you, I don't listen to Teddy recap OC because I see in the comments, she is so one-sided with Tamra.
Yes.
And I told you that Alexia was, calling Tamra out and they got rid of her.
Mm-hmm.
And now Erica Jane's there. I did see a clip and I think Erica she'll say that Tamra does something wrong, but she doesn't really call her out on it.
No, I agree because I tried to watch it too. And I saw the same thing. I also saw, I don't know if you saw this, the Jersey Jays, they put out another podcast.
Oh, they did?
They did. So I started listening to it just because I was curious. Like, did they record this after the reunion and after everything happened? Or the non-reunion, I should say. And it was recorded after that. But they really didn't say anything. And I didn't listen to the whole. I was just very surprised.
I think they're continuing with theirs and Jackie's just doing her own on the side. Maybe Jen Fessler, maybe they decided we shouldn't talk about the show on this one. And because I think Jackie's going to talk about the show. Because, we talked about this with Cousin Gina. She's going to do what Raquel did. She's going to go on there and talk about the show and nobody cares, Jackie.
Right.
People probably cared about Raquel more than they care about you being on the show.
That's
but still, true. I mean, what did people listen to? Maybe 3 podcasts of Raquel's and they were like, all right, we're good.
So do you think Tamara's going to come back next season?
I don't know. I think it will be interesting to see what they do. I think they need to do something I don't want to say a total shakeup because I really do love Emily and Gina, but I don't love how Emily is close with Tamra. I don't like it because I think Tamra will flip on her in a hot second. But I think Emily's smart enough to know that. And that's why she just stays close with her. I'd like to see Emily and Gina come back. I don't mind Katie. I don't mind Heather. And I'd like to see Shannon, Emily, and Gina come back and then see what else they decide to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're saying Teddy, but I don't see that happening. People hated her on Beverly. I did not hate her on Beverly Hills. I will say that.
No.
Although I was watching a repeat and when they were in Versailles, I think, were they in they were in that big mansion. And that at that dinner that night, I do think they were all drunk, but Teddy and Kyle were saying to Erica, we don't think you have fun with us. We don't think you really want to be here. And poor Erica had a bad migraine or something. And she was like, where the fuck's this coming from? I didn't love that.
No.
And I think people hated Teddy so much on Beverly Hills. I can't see them putting her on another franchise.
They still don't give her love. There's still a lot of hate out there for her, which honestly, I don't get the hate. I really don't get the hate.
Me neither. And honestly, their podcast is always in the top 3. So people are listening. And I think she's good on the podcast, Teddy. I don't like how she, has Tamra's back all the time. You have to call her out on her shit. Come on now. Continuously saying that she has bad behavior and that makes her a good housewife. That's not cutting it anymore.
No, or just don't recap OC.
Exactly.
You don't have to recap OC. Just don't recap. Just don't recap OC. And maybe don't do Beverly Hills either because of how close you are with Kyle.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like, just don't do those 2 franchises.
Right. Yeah, because I don't like that. Yeah, and the Kyle thing too. She'll always, and she knows what's really going on because they really are good friends and probably talk every day.
Right. Right. And they weren't friends prior to the show.
No,
Like,
I
they
don't even
really
think
became.
they knew each other.
No, I don't think they did either. I don't think
No,
they
which
did
is
either.
great. I'm glad they, formed such a closeness, but
Yeah.
it's getting in the way of your business, of your podcast business.
Yeah, because I'm sure she's making bank on this podcast.
Yeah.
And all of them, because it's not, I mean, she does they're doing everything. And they have all the
Yeah.
little spin-offs between the Eds and, I wonder how much longer the Eds are going to be. Because I feel like he's going to be so done with this.
Yeah.
I mean, after what just happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Eddie. I feel bad for him, but
I do too.
I mean, listen, you're staying around for a reason. You're staying with her for a reason. She can't be easy to live with
No. No, she can't.
after seeing that behavior on the show.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
I would really like her to stop fake crying. It's so bad.
I agree.
If you could just stop doing that, it'd be great.
All right. I guess until next time, thank you for watching and listening to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly. Bye.
Bye.